Hello, everybody. It's Spirit of 420 here because everything I do is so 420, including taking good rips. It's funny because the guy that introduced this to me, um, you know, well, you heard my story on Wednesday. He was the douchebag, but he gave me two of these, and I had never tried them before. Gave me two of these things called runts. Has anybody had these, man? I mean, I am blown away. Let me try to get it. Come on, there you go. There we go. It's tiny. It's smaller than a jewel. If dude, I've been ripping on this thing, and look at how much I still have left. I have the thing downstairs, but it clearly comes. I mean, I don't even know how much is in there, but it's a ton. It's a ton. Hey, what's up, man? This dude, I'm telling you right now, you got to fucking find some of these things, Joe. These are. It's called runts. Runtz. And dude, watch the rip. Oh, come the F on. Are you serious? It is not. Oh, yeah. Okay. You know what? Hold on. That is just insane, guys. I don't get it. I'm trying to. That's just stupid. I know. Cough much. Thank you. I'm a bitch. It's okay. I don't get it. Stop. There we go. That was rather stupid. Freaking camera, dude. That's all I can tell you. Technical difficulties. That was a good one, Hardy boy. I like it. By the way, I got to tell you, I haven't even had a chance to comment on it. But my wife, my mother, myself, we are all old enough to remember Nancy Drew. So, dude, I fucking love the name. Considering, to me, just on a side note, it was one of the signs that I got that you were the right person to be starting this with. Is it still doing that? Fuck a monkey. All right, we'll go there. Hopefully it'll stay. So I don't have much time. I just, in fact, I'm only going to be on for like maybe 16 more minutes. Got to go to the Petco, and the Petco closes at 8. That's what I was trying to show you, and I took it properly. So this time, I'm not going to cough, and if I do, it's not going to be much. I'm just teasing. Uh, I am telling you, man, that is a fat rip. Considering, I don't think they don't they don't cost a whole lot either, from my understanding. I'm going to be going out looking for them. I can tell you that right now. So tonight's topic, let's just get right into it. A always, B C closing. No, I'm sorry, C changing. If it matters, that's where I got it. I Am a Salesman. One of the greatest movies ever made. And what's funny, like, I loved this movie from the moment I saw it because we had already been doing ABC before this movie brought it to the attention of the world. Because when you were in sales circles, it was the ABCs of selling. And y'all may or may not know the movie, but Glenn Ross. It is a incredible film. A quick flick dick review. Let me just tell you this: if you have not seen that film, you are missing out. You've got Jack Lemmon, Al Pacino, Alec Baldwin. Who am I leaving out? Alan, no, not Alan. Oh my God, he just passed away. We just lost this guy. There's two more that I really. Ed is the other one. Ed. Oh my God, can't think of his last name, but his first name is Ed. And then the other one is bugging me because it's right there on the tip. He's a great, I mean, dude, let me just put it this way. Almost everybody in this has won an Oscar. You also have, before he was found to be who he is. Wow. I think I took too big of a hit because I can't remember any of the names, and that's not like me. So, F it. You know what? Instead of sitting here like a dummy going, which has already happened, I'll just go straight to it and get it so I can just tell y'all what I want to tell you. So Glengarry Glen Ross, boom. It is a fantastic film. Alan Arkin was the other one I was trying to get. So listen to this. Al Pacino, Jack Lemmon, Alec Baldwin, Alan Arkin, Ed Harris, Kevin Spacey, Jonathan Pryce. Like, that right there should tell you that is a must-see. And this was done back in, I told you just a quick flick dick moment, but this was done in 92. What's funny is I've already been in sales since I was 14, and that was one of the first things that we learned walking in was always be closing. It's just the simple ins and out of it. But when I look at that, right, I don't have much time, so I got to get this out of me. When I look at that now, I truly see something different. I now look at it as always be changing. If you're changing, here's a fact. You're learning. If you're learning, you're living. Okay. So, oh, did you almost get it, Alan Hard? Yeah, there you go. It was, you had the right, you were in there. It just Arkin. So, you know, a couple of letters different. So, but yeah, if you're changing, you're learning. If you're learning, you're living. If you're not changing, you are running stagnant. And that's why I put the second part of it. Instead of making I don't want to use the mistake. There is no mistakes and there's no coincidences. Instead of doing what is typical of most humans and fearing the change, because that's what we do. If it wasn't the case, then, you know, you wouldn't have half the problems that we have, just in the sense of who's different, you know, different races, different colors, different creeds, different religions. All that stuff is partly due to the fact that people fear what they do not know, right? Fear of the unknown. Well, change is unknown, all right? So the typical thing to do is to fear the change and try to, in the best of opportunities, try to avoid it, right? The less change I have, the better. I say that because I know a lot of people are like, they literally tell you, I don't like change. If I don't have to change, then I do the same thing. Well, if you're doing the same thing every day and you're not changing, you run stagnant. If you run stagnant, guess what? Just on a scientific side, your brain starts to run stupid. It's a muscle. If you're not giving it things to think about and things to learn, then the muscle will diminish. It goes into atrophied, if you will, no different than, you know, any of our physical muscles. If you don't exercise it, it's going to go away. Well, I personally, folks, I can tell you this. I don't want my brain to dull down, number one. Number two, see, now it's nice and hot. Number two, I've talked about this several times, but the more that I learn, the more I want to learn, because the less I know. And it's, you know, for people who don't get that, it's really simple. You know, it's an oxymoron, I know, similar to chaotic fate, right? Everybody think that's a oxymoron as well. But these things exist. number one with the whole learning, because I love people that argue this. Well, if I'm answering or if I'm learning, then why? How am I not gaining? I'm like, well, you're looking at it from kind of a different perspective. For every question that we answer, it's been my experience, folks, that I gain 3 new or 5 new, 3 to 5, somewhere in there. 3 to 5 new questions. And that never stops. In the best case scenario, and I mean this, I get at least another question. So I've really gained no ground in the sense of knowing more than I don't know, right? But every time I have a question answered and I get 3 to 5 new questions, my ratio just keeps getting bigger. Yes, I keep learning more, and I do learn more, but I'm exponentially gaining more questions than I am answering, right? By like typically a 3 to even 4 or 5 to 1 ratio, right? So you do the math. It's really simple. If I answered 20 questions, I just got myself at a minimum of 60 new questions, maybe even as many as 100. But let's just call it average and say I got 80 new questions. Well, that builds up every day. So this is why I tell people, don't fear. And don't forget what I was saying. Embrace change. Let go of the fear, right? Embrace change, let go of the fear. One of the things that I truly believe in that everybody should be doing, and if you're not doing it by now, just listen to me. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. It's not like that, but just take this suggestion. I just did it. You just watched me do it. Try to find the positive and speak what you want to do and have and hold and all that versus what not to do. Because what I was going to say to you earlier, I was going to say, well, my dogs are barking right now and totally messing with what I was trying to think of. What I was going to say is don't fear change, right? That's not, again, that's speaking the negative, and what you're actually reinforcing when you say it to yourself is that you are going to fear the change, right? So let go of the fear, embrace the change. For anything that you do, I promise you, you can always find a way to say it positively, even though it might be a negative thing to some degree in the sense of you're wanting to, quit smoking, right? Instead of saying smoke no more, smokers have learned I'm going to quit smoking cigarettes. That to me, I know people say, well, quitting is a negative. In this case, it's not. It's a positive, and this is exactly what you want to put in front of you, right? So I won't buy any more cigarettes. That's not a good one. Just on a side note, right? The person that says that, I know because I've done it, is the person that ends up going out and buying more cigarettes, right? Smoke no longer something. Come up with something. You can literally spend everything, right? And in fact, when you're looking at change, I'll give you, for instance, one of the ones that's hardest, I think, to achieve when it comes to change is learning to look at yourself differently. Learning to, I'm talking about right now, but learning to say it to yourself differently so that it works, right? One of those great adages, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna take it. Yep. Hold on, I'll get it. It goes along with the river and denial, right? The river is not, or denial is not a river in Egypt, number one. Why did I say that? That wasn't what I was trying to say. Oh, crazy. There's an old adage. You are insane if you continue to do the same thing and you expect a different result. That's what I was trying to get out of my mouth. That's what she said. If you continue doing the same thing over and over and somehow expect it to have a different outcome, then yes, you are being insane. It's just that simple. Okay. So when you do that, come back to the change, right? If you want a different result, then do something different. If you want to achieve something you never have, then get there in a way that you've never taken, right? And don't be afraid to take the road that you've not gone down before. It might be a little, you might have some, I would prefer to say apprehension rather than fear. But what you'll end up finding is, if you look at it the way that I'm talking about, embracing the change, what was once fear becomes excitement and vigor and allows you to really jump into it. You know what I mean? Dive into it instead of running away and going, oh, this is so scary. I'll put the white one up there. You can see it better. Just a thought I was having. I know that's my mind. But on a very serious note, embrace the change, let go of the fear. You will find yourself, in fact, when you really start practicing this, I promise, you will find yourself burping on a live stream and then, looking at everybody going, why are you leaving? No, I'm teasing. When you start to do this, it will change for you. And what I mean by that is these are the ways that you change it. This is kind of the fake it until you make it policy that I have, right? And what I mean by that is in the beginning, rather than embrace the change, let go of the fear. Eventually the fear will not be fear to you. And even if it is, you will welcome it because you will be like, okay, look what happens when I embrace the change, right? What you'll find too is, and do this a few times, test it, see if I'm not full of shit. Most likely I am, but what you'll end up finding is the same situation that used to go horribly wrong because you were worried about the change. A good one, maybe a new job, or a new love, even a new friend, right? If you've had trouble maybe keeping friends or making new friends because something that you're doing, you have to look at that, right? I mean, quite honestly, with what happened on Wednesday, I was first looking at myself, and I still did. There was many mistakes that I made, and I did show my ass just a tiny little bit in the sense that I left. To me, that's kind of showing your ass. But again, back to what I was saying, because I'm almost done for the night. If you embrace change and let go of fear, not only will the fear subside, but the fear will turn into motivation or excitement of a, anticipation type kind. Like, rather than anticipating it going wrong, you will start to go, okay, how many ways and how will this go right today, right? And I promise you, just try it. You'll see it's no BS, not to you and not to me. But if you embrace it, it'll make the day a little bit better. You'll also start to see the positives versus the negatives. And we tend to, as I end tonight's stream, we tend to A, focus more on the negative than the positive, and B, when that happens, it blows the negative up and diminishes the positive. So that, for instance, something negative has a much heavier value, like a 5, and something positive has a smaller value, like a 2, right? So 2 negatives has this value of 10 negative on the day, even though you might have 4 positives, right? Which technically should outweigh it. But that's only weighing like an 8 to you because you're paying attention. And I'm not trying to say you, this is everybody, this is all of us, right? We all do this. It's up to each of us individually to go, okay, I'm going to look at this a different way. And all I can tell you is look at it a different way. Even if you disagree, just keep looking at it that other way, and it will eventually start to become your way of thinking. And then you will get what I'm saying. I had a hard time with that. Funny enough, my son does too. I'll give you a quick example before I go. He'll look at it from the positive. He does all that. But if it doesn't fucking change, like, I'm not even exaggerating. Sometimes within an hour, this kid's like, no, I'm done. Let me be very clear. When you're faking it until you're making it, it may take a while. Like, think about a job where you've done this, and I'm sure somebody knows what I'm talking about. But think about a job, right? You didn't go in there faking it until you make it, and it was all perfect the first day. Like, it takes a while. When it comes to thinking positively, to give you an example, what he did right there, like in that example, right? If it's within an hour, well, that's part of your negative way of thinking, is that you don't let go of the negative long enough and focus on the positive, right? So just keep that in mind, folks. None of this is easy. It doesn't happen overnight. Anything worth having, you've got to work for, and you've got to work at it consistently, right? But it will turn around. I am absolute living proof of it. I am not just living proof, but I can give you example after example of how I got here. It took a funny burn. Did you see that? There we go. So I've got to go. I got to run to Petco for my mother. We've got to have filters and food for the cat. Filters for the fish, food for the cat. I love each and every one of you. You are all incredibly important. You're each part of the puzzle. And remember that. One puzzle piece out, then you've got an incomplete picture. And quite frankly, you're part of that picture. You're just as important as I am, and no more important than I am, and vice versa to everybody out there. So I love all you guys. Today is Friday, right? We are on Friday. So we'll not be here back until Tuesday. Is that right? I believe, just checking the calendar to see that I'm not crazy. Yes, Tuesday is the 29th, so I will be back on Tuesday. I love all of you. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a blessed weekend. I hope you get to spend some time with your family, and I will see you on Tuesday. Peace.
I switch hit, I'm a strange fuck. Consist on ain't something I could say well. Throw my change into the wishing for a change well. Wish a day is swell life for the next come. And when the next come, pretend that it's the best one. Like I ain't even gonna try and say that to the next one.